I'm Sarah Cooper. You are at the barn in Zionsville currently. The barn started out of another business that I started, I guess, really. I own my own event planning business called Cooper Events, and I was planning weddings at the time when I got engaged, and I knew I didn't want to go to so many other venues that I worked at to have my own wedding because I thought it would feel like work. And my dad, we had this barn here growing up on the property, and we started talking about fixing it for my wedding here and there and doing little things. My dad's an entrepreneur himself, so once we hung all this beautiful lighting that you see in the chandeliers and we poured this concrete floor, we figured we should probably see if anyone else wanted to get married here. So we turned that into a business, and as anyone starting their own business, you don't know if you're going to have one customer or 50 your first year, and we ended up with 50, which is great. So it was a lot of fun to be able to be so busy, but it's definitely taken off quite a bit. So that's a little how we got started. No. I know you write all business plans, and that's a lot of focus. Those are really, from my personal opinion at least, mostly important when you're going to someone for fundraising. You know, you need a loan, you need something from a bank, and I didn't need either of that for either one of my businesses. Most definitely, I think having a wedding planning company already, there's a lot of other people who own barns in Indy that had no background in it, and it's been a lot more challenging for them, I think, because they didn't understand how the industry works and what's needed and what's expected and what's kind of commonplace or what brides are looking for as much. So I think it was a huge help for me to have an idea of what people were expecting when they came somewhere and what things were important to brides. Hopefully we do that. Our biggest hurdle here that I'm not sure how I would have done it differently to know, but we had some trouble with the town of Zionsville and zoning and stuff for here. So maybe we would have consulted a lawyer earlier on instead of at the point when we had trouble and then trying to figure it out. Getting the appropriate information in the beginning just would have made it a less stressful process to have that instead of already having this giant group of clients and now trying to solve a problem. It would have been nicer to have it taken care of beforehand. Fortunately, I have a father who is essentially my financial backer in this, but in the first 4 months we were in the black, so we had recovered any of his initial investment. So that was a great day in my life personally. Well, we were fortunate in the fact that I got married here, and so you can use your entire own wedding as your marketing materials, which was great. My best friend is a wedding photographer who's also a Purdue alumni, and she helped me to craft a lot of the images into marketing materials and things like that. We're very fortunate in the fact that the barn in Zionsville.com, when people Google barn weddings Indianapolis or Zionsville, that we have really good organic SEO, so we don't have to pay for a lot of that. Facebook has so much to do with the wedding world. It's starting to have less and less to do with the wedding world, it seems like, just because younger people don't seem to be focused on it as much. But when anyone gets married, if they have Facebook, they plaster their own wedding pictures all over, and if anybody sees it, oh, where's that, where do you like that, I really love where you got married, it's gorgeous, or a friend of a friend because someone shared or liked a picture. The way that Facebook really works allows so many people to see images from one person sharing something. I Instagram, I Pinterest, all of those things, pictures from the barn, and have current clients follow along, but their moms follow along, their friends, their bridesmaids, lots of people. So, and then every weekend we fill the barn twice with 150 people. So you get 150 people to lay eyes on your business every weekend. So hopefully showing up and taking care of clients at every wedding is a great marketing piece for us as well. I'm sure there has been someone who's disappointed, and I wish that wasn't the case, but I definitely think we learn from every experience and try to do it better next time, and try to remember that it's a very different job, because most people, whatever your job is, someone's going to do that 1,000 times in their life. If you work at a retail store, people are going to buy thousands of pairs of clothes. People are going to have thousands and thousands of meals in their life, but they will remember this day for the rest of their lives, their family, their friends, everyone who comes here will. And so there's a lot of added pressure to really try to do it right. And so I think we do that as best we can. But just like anything, everybody has a bad day at work. That's a big difference about us here at the barn compared to a lot of other wedding venues that are local, is that we don't restrict how they can decorate. We don't restrict what they can and can't bring in and different things like that. So it really we try to enable people to make it as unique as possible being in the same venue. The lighting never changes, yes, but every single weekend, anyone who follows us on Facebook or Pinterest or anything, all my brides' moms or friends or anyone who comes here is always like, I love seeing what everyone does every weekend. It's so different. My dad, who you might have seen when you guys came in, is kind of like our maintenance man. He owned his own business for 35 years. He did one of these interviews when I was in college for friends of mine. So he kind of does that side, but he doesn't really have any interaction with clients typically unless they see him working on something when they happen to be here. I can't fix fences and do all sorts of things that he's constantly doing, which is awesome. And then I really am more the client interaction side. So we really operate as co-owners in that regard. And then I am dealing with brides and vendors and all that kind of side of it, because that's really more where my expertise is. Every year I have, how many did I probably have this year? 8 different interns throughout the course of the year between spring, summer, and fall that we totally couldn't do it without. They're awesome. One of my interns this summer, she was from Purdue. We have IUPUI, Ball State, all over. Any school that has an event planning or a hospitality major, a lot of them need internship experience. So we have a lot of them here, which is great because they get a lot more hands-on experience here than they might somewhere else, because it is a smaller operation. There's not some big corporate structure and chain of command, and you don't actually get to work weddings. You work weddings, you meet brides, you interact with their families like every single weekend. So between us and them, we make it work. I work a lot. My husband today was just like, you work from the minute you get up until the minute you go to sleep. And I'm like, yes, I do, because brides email you at midnight and 3 in the morning and text you and call you, and it's great. So I try to be available to them. That's definitely the customer service side. We try to do a lot different. If you call me on a Saturday, I'm going to answer my phone, as opposed to you might be calling like a landline at another venue, and if they're not in their office hours, it might not get answered. Not that I can always get to my phone, but we really try to do that to offer more personal service and get back to them quicker and be hopefully the easy part of them planning their wedding, instead of that vendor that they can never get a hold of or won't call them back or is, making things more challenging. We try to be there to help ease that for them as much as possible. Between my wedding planning business and this year alone will have done like 70 something weddings. So you do the math on that. I'm fairly consumed at this point in time. I have taken someone on as an employee in my wedding planning business so she can take additional weddings, which has been a huge help to me. And who knows, I'd say that's the biggest thing I've learned from being an entrepreneur is like, you might have this great plan, but like as it happens, if you just follow where it takes you, that sometimes this happened. We didn't know if we were going to have 3 clients, let alone 50 our first year, so it's, if you just try to do it right and let it evolve, hopefully this will continue to do something I never thought it would do. And 5 years from now, who knows what we could be doing. Maybe we'll have 3 barns, I don't know. But currently this is our only plan for this at the moment. So, but you never know. If you hang in there and wait, so many great things can come. But if you give up too easily, you never have the opportunity to see if those will come to fruition. And that was something my dad always said my whole life. He's like, you don't have kids, be poor, sleep on a friend's couch. Like, take a risk now, because when you have responsibilities, it's a lot harder to do that when you have other people counting on you. But when it's just yourself or you and a friend, and you don't mind living somewhere crappy or whatever for a short amount of time, to really see a dream through that, you can really be successful. But a lot of people, I just think, give up too quick. It gets hard. They get poor. They're tired of, living at their parents or whatever while they get things started. That if you just hang in there a little while longer, hopefully you'll start to gain some momentum.